There's been a meme going around for a while. It shows Jesus teaching a crowd, and he says to the people assembled, "Now pay attention, we don't want to end up with 4 different versions of this." Well, what an embarrassment. There are 4 different versions of the Easter morning story. People hear snippets of them once a year in church, and they think, how inspiring. But they actually inspire doubt and skepticism. Let's look briefly at all 4. In Mark's story, 3 women arrive at the tomb. They are surprised that the stone has been rolled away, and they are alarmed to see a young man sitting in the tomb who tells them that Jesus has been raised and they will find him in Galilee. They flee in terror from the tomb, and Mark reports that they told no one. End of story. End of gospel. More about that shortly. Matthew turns out to be the drama queen. 2 women go to the tomb. There is an earthquake. An angel descends from heaven to remove the stone and then sits down on it. He instructs them to go to the disciples and tell them that Jesus has been raised and will meet them in Galilee. On their way, they run into, guess who? They run into Jesus. They take hold of his feet and worship him. And Jesus tells them to tell the disciples to meet him in Galilee. In Luke, it seems like a whole group of women arrive at the tomb. The stone has been rolled away. They went in, and suddenly 2 men in dazzling clothes appeared who remind them that Jesus had predicted he would rise again. They go right back to the disciples to report this. And here's one of the best lines in the gospel. But these words seemed to them an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Hold on to that thought. It will be our guide later. Then Peter ran to the tomb, saw that Jesus wasn't there, and went home amazed. In John, it is Mary Magdalene alone who went to the tomb. The stone had been moved, and she ran to tell the disciples about the missing body. Peter and the beloved disciple raced to get to the tomb. They both ended up going in and, quote-unquote, believed the scripture, and then went home. But Mary was still hanging around the tomb, and suddenly there was Jesus. She did not recognize him. She mistook him for the gardener. But when he called her by name, she recognized him. "Do not hold on to me," Jesus said, "because I have not yet ascended to the Father." Christian apologists have been trying forever to reconcile these accounts, but without success. The gospel authors who wrote decades later put their own twists on the folklore. There is no contemporary documentation, which historians must have, for any of this, and no evidence whatever that these are based on eyewitness reports. Now consider 2 strange twists. Twist number 1. A longer ending got tacked on to Mark's gospel. It's not in the oldest manuscripts. And in this ending, the resurrected Jesus says that those who have been baptized will be able to cast out demons. Christians, are you paying attention? You should be able to cast out demons, speak in tongues, pick up snakes, drink poison, and heal people by laying their hands on them. It says so in the Bible, folks. Jesus said so. Even most Christians today would say that this is just too weird. Now the second twist, resurrection is so special, right? Remember Matthew, the drama queen? He says that when Jesus died, tombs were open and dead people came alive. And when Jesus was resurrected, these newly alive dead people went wandering around Jerusalem. These are strong markers that the resurrection stories are folklore and superstition. Yes, these are idle tales, not to be believed. In the next episode, we'll consider more problems with the stories of the empty tomb.